you've seen this other video, your girl is back again with another story time. If you're new to my channel, hey girl, hey. And if you're a returning subscriber, I don't even have to say anything because you know what's up. I know what's up. We know what's up. And that's on what? That's on what? That's on period. And Mary had a little lamb. As y'all can see by the title and the thumbnail, your girl is back again with another story time. This story time is going to be about the time somebody owed me money. They owe me money to this day, y'all. But this happened years ago. So I just charged it to the game, but I do want to give y'all the story time about it. And unfortunately, your girl is sucking on a cough drop right now, y'all. I'm currently a little under the weather. I'm getting over a cold, so I'm gonna voice over this video. And just to make it interesting, I'm gonna do my makeup. So how I got this look, I'm gonna be doing this look while I voice over the story time. But yeah, girl, let's go ahead and get into it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I don't know who told me to get this elf primer, but y'all, this right here has made my makeup tea. I hope y'all learned something by this video. I'm doing a story time, so I'm not gonna walk y'all through it, but this right here. The lesson of today's video is going to be, don't let a sad story borrow money. Like, no matter how sad the story is, just don't do it, y'all. Learn from me. So let me just start this story off by saying that me and homegirl, we have been friends for years. Like, she was literally the second friend I met at the MU. I don't want y'all to think that this is just a new character, but no, I have had plenty of other story times about this person. And now that I think, because back then I was not thinking clearly, we were never really truly friends. Like, I feel like I was just a placeholder in her life. But y'all already know, in order for any of my story times to make sense, I have to give y'all a little backstory. So, of course, this story begins in college. It honestly should have ended there once I graduated, but it didn't, y'all. When I met this so-called friend, we're going to call her Tasha. Tasha had the type of personality that could literally light up a room. Me and her met in my SLS class. It was a transition class that was supposed to help you prepare for the real world from high school to college. And in this class, y'all, she was so bubbly. I remember I bombed my presentation, and it was kind of ironic because I was a very talkative person. All I did was talk during the class period. I was one of those people that the professor used to look at me and be like, Asia, you got one more time. You got one more time. And then when my presentation came, y'all, I literally bummed it. Like, I was just stuck. Like, the words literally could not come out my mouth, and I don't know why. Tasha also bummed her presentation. Not as bad as I did. We definitely bonded over that. Typically, me and Tasha wouldn't have any problems until it came to her man. So for the first semester, it was just me and her rocking. That second semester, she ended up moving her man up to Tallahassee, and he moved in with her. And y'all, this man was the epitome of a bum. Like, he was a bum. We're gonna go ahead and name this bum that I'm referring to Toxic Tony. Toxic Tony was y'all, Toxic Tony, he was a problem. Like, me and him would get along when Tasha wasn't there, but when Tasha was around and he was around, there was just always a problem. They had a very tumultuous relationship, and honestly, that statement is an understatement, to be honest. And I witnessed this whole train wreck. So I want to say from our freshman year to our junior year, Tony, he lived in Tallahassee with us on and off. Tasha knew that he was a cheater and he would entertain a lot of women. So I felt like she honestly just wanted him in the same city with us, even if he ain't have anything to offer. My thing is, if I'm dating a guy and you don't have anything to offer me, you can stay where you at. Like, we're not even dating at this point. Tasha would be dating Tony the bum. Wait, it's not Tony the bum. Toxic Tony. Tasha would want Toxic Tony to be in Tallahassee with us just so she can watch him. But he didn't have anything to offer. So anytime he wasn't in town, like I said, me and Tasha, we wouldn't really have any issues. But then when he would come in town, it would always be issues. She would be failing her class. She would be behind on study breaks. Like, he was just a distraction, y'all. And I would always try to explain this to her. But keep in mind, at this point, they had already been dating for 3 years when I met her. This was her longtime boyfriend, and I had literally just met her the semester before. We're going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit. Keep in mind, I witnessed the whole train wreck unfold throughout college of what their relationship is like. Tasha literally gave this man everything: her time, her money, her mental health, probably even her Netflix password, y'all. This man, he got everything except for a bill. Like, he would never pay a bill. Meanwhile, Tony, he would just give Tasha stress, wrinkles, and lies. Like, this man even had a baby on her, y'all, and the entire family knew about it and they hid it. She was very close with his family, and they actually lived together at one point in high school. And like I said, he would periodically move up to Tallahassee with us, and then he would leave and go back to his hometown. And he would kind of do that like on and off. But eventually the truth came out. But did Tony face any consequences? No, y'all. After all of that, fast forward another 3 years, this man ghosted her after 6 years of dating, leaving her with nothing but memories and debt. Like, a baby, dead. Like, it was terrible. Keep in mind that Tasha was the type of girlfriend that really wanted to be a wife, and she cherished having a husband. Me, when I was in college, I was definitely in relationships, but I definitely did not have that mindset. I did not prioritize relationships like she did, and that's probably why she married and I'm single. I'm not single, y'all, but I'm definitely not married, and it's honestly because, like, I'm just not a writer. But Tasha, she was that ride or die girl. Like, no matter what her man did, it was no problem. Even with her having a baby on her, I know it took a hit on her. Like, she was not doing good after that mentally, but she was still willing to stick it out with toxic Tony. Quick little interlude. We had a mutual friend, and the mutual friend, Tasha, didn't even have the guts, I guess, or maybe she was just embarrassed. She didn't even tell me about him having a baby on her. One of our mutual friends ended up telling me that he had a baby on her, and he actually told her it was something being posted about Father's Day, and Toxic Tony was tagged in the post. And he denied the whole entire thing. And when she kept pressing him about the baby for years, mind you, y'all, the baby was like 2. He was no longer on formula. Like, this was a grown man at this point. When she would keep pressuring Toxic Tony to fess up to it and tell the truth about him having a baby on her, he ended up ghosting her. And this was like 6 years into their relationship. And then he ended up moving on with the baby mama. Fast forward, I want to say like a few months later, by this time I'm getting ready to graduate, and I wanted to go to the Classic, which takes place in Orlando in November, y'all. And by this point, I knew Tasha wasn't the same like sparkly, carefree girl that I had met in college. She had been through it because we would talk on and off. But when she relocated back to her hometown, y'all, we didn't talk as much, just simply because life, I had my own issues and things going on. So we didn't really talk as much. It became one of those friendships where, like, Happy New Year's, text you on your birthday, text you on holidays, but we didn't talk every single day. But anytime I was in her city, I would make sure I went to go see my girl. So the Classics was coming up, and I went with 2 other friends, but I know Tasha, she's in Orlando. So I'm like, let me try to see my girl, because I know right after graduation, life is going to be crazy for me. We're not going to be able to catch up and like hang out. So I hit her up, and I practically begged her. I'm like, please come out to the Classic, girl. You deserve it. Like, you've been through so much. All you do is like work, work, work. All the begging and the pleading eventually worked, y'all. I eventually convinced her to let this weekend be a weekend of fun, football, ninjas, and foolery. Like, just come outside. So she agreed to come outside with me, y'all. And when we were out, like, she showed up, but I could just really tell that her heart was not in it. Like, she would smile and she would laugh here and there, but I can tell that she had heavy, like, sadness hanging over her, and she wasn't herself. Like, I wouldn't push the issue, but I would periodically ask her throughout the game. If you ever been to the Classic, it's basically like a big block party afterwards, and you just trying food, vendors, buying stuff, and you just walking around. So she wasn't really with us. Like, I had my other 2 friends there, and I would ask her periodically. I'm like, you good, Tasha? You okay? Because I felt like she was with us, but she wasn't really with us, if you know what I mean. And I was trying to include her and everything. Like, if I went to go buy a candy apple or something, I would be like, Tasha, did you want one? Or I was trying to include her, but I honestly felt like I was really only there with 2 friends rather than 3 friends, because I don't know, y'all, she just had this sadness about her. So after the Classic, me and all my homegirls went our separate ways. Tasha went back to her place. My homegirl went to her family member house, and I went back to my hotel. And that following day, we're going back to Tallahassee because it was just like a little weekend trip, y'all. But before I left, I decided to swing by Tasha's house just to check on her, just to say what up before I left. Because like I said, y'all, I wasn't prioritizing seeing her a lot. I was getting ready to graduate. I had finals. I had things to worry about. I had live internships, like how I'm gonna get a job. I just had so many other things on my plate. So I was like, let me just stop by her house before I leave. But y'all, that was a big mistake because that's when the sad story came. Like I should have just shot her a text and be like, happy to see you. Bye. But no, y'all, I decided to stop by her house. And when I walked in there, I was hit with a smell. The smell was so bad, y'all. I thought someone had committed a homicide. Like, it was bad. Like, I had never smelled nothing this bad. And it really, I don't even know. Like, saying it stank is just an understatement. Like, I'm literally saying, like, hey, Tasha, how you doing or whatever. And I'm making it quick because I had to go to the airport. Like, I want to say, like, maybe I had 3 hours before I was going to go to the airport. So I was just really going in just to stop by. But y'all, before I can even get in the house, I was already looking around trying to figure out what was the source of that smell because it smelled so bad, y'all. So I'm like looking around and I'm sitting on the couch with her and we're doing a quick little catch up or whatever. And I'm asking her like, what's her plans for today? I'm telling her about my classes and what I got going on. But the whole time I'm like looking around, like I'm just looking around. I go to the bathroom. I'm looking underneath the cabinet. Like I'm really thinking she killed somebody, y'all. I'm really thinking something really bad happened because that's how it smelled. And y'all, it hit me. As I'm leaving the bathroom, I see her fish tank and the fish were deceased. Not the, oops, I forgot to feed them dead, but no, y'all, they were floating in a swamp of algae. Despair or whatever nightmare smelled like. That's exactly what it smelled like, y'all. It smelled so bad. The water looked like somebody had brewed a pot of fish flavored tea and they just left it on the counter for a year or for years. That's how it looked like. It just smelled so bad. And I couldn't even hide it. I was just like, Tasha, when is the last time you cleaned this tank? And she looked at me and said, he left and I feel like I'm dying, with tears in her eyes, y'all. And I went from trying to keep from gagging and trying to keep my gag reflexes in order to crying. Like, I seen her cry, I bust out crying, and all I could do was hug her. Like, all I could do was hug her. So I'm hugging her and I'm rocking her. And that one sentence alone told me everything I needed to know because, to be honest, y'all, she looked like she didn't do any self-care. Like, she didn't look like herself. Typically, Tasha was the type of person that would keep her hair done, keep her nails done. Mrs. Keep her hair done. Mrs. Get a feel. Like, that was her, y'all. But no, like, she didn't have it in her. That man had literally sucked the collagen out of her skin. Like, he aged her. So that was Tony Toxic's fish tank, y'all. She go on to tell me that that was his fish tank and she hasn't cleaned it since he left because that was his job. And y'all, her home was in shambles. Her spirit was broken. It was just a lot going on. And she told me when he left, she could no longer afford the rent. So she was like 4 months behind in her rent. And she was due to go to eviction court. So she was about to be evicted. And in between every sentence, y'all, she would say, I'm not telling you this to help me. I'm just telling you this because this is what I'm going through. And has been my life for the past few months. And I would just be like, oh my gosh, like, how can I help you, Tasha? And she would just be like, no, like, I'm not saying this because I want help. I'm just broken. Like, I'm broken. And y'all, I would just weep even more. Like, I'm literally crying even more. Like, it was like the saddest day. Like, I felt so sad. And we're sitting in her living room. I don't know how we got on the floor because she definitely had a couch, y'all. Maybe I didn't feel comfortable. I don't know. So I'm on the floor with her and we're just rocking like back and forth. And I'm just like, I can give you the money. I'll give you the money, because she told me that she was getting evicted next week, and that's really why she didn't want to go out with me in the first place. So I'm like, how much do you need? I'll give you the money. And y'all, she looks at me and she was just like, my mom owes me 1K and I'm behind about 3K in rent, but my landlord, they'll let me stay if I can at least give them 2K. So I need 2K. And y'all, I made the mistake of giving her 2K. Yes, $2,000. And she promised me that once she got her rent situated, she was going to pay me back. She said the following week, her mom owed her 1K, so her mom was going to give her back the money. And then in December, at the end of December, she said she would give me back the other 1K, and it would be from her paychecks. And at that time, y'all, I honestly believed her, because the story was just, y'all, like, I just believed her. Like, the situation of how her house looked, how she looked, I knew that it was bad. Like, I knew that this wasn't no janky story. Like, I knew she really needed the money, y'all. So I cash tapped her the 2K, and I didn't even think twice about it. Like, I don't know, y'all. I didn't think twice about it. I had so much empathy for her in that moment, because I had been through like mild depression, maybe just a sprinkle of depression, but I have never been through any real like low down depression where I haven't had the energy or the mental capacity to like feed myself, to pay my bills, to brush my teeth, to comb my hair. Like, I have never been that down bad, and I had never seen her that down bad. So it honestly just hurt me to see Tasha this way. I remember that flight back home, I wrote her like the most heartfelt message, and I really felt like I was going through it, just to see that she was going through it, y'all. I was just so sad. But fast forward to that following week, because she did say her mother owed her money. And keep in mind, this wasn't a new friend. We had been friends for years, so I kind of knew her family dynamic and background. In college, she would send her parents money, so I knew the background. So it wasn't odd or anything that her mother owed her money, because this was something that had happened in the past. But that following week, of course, I texted her all through the week, asking her how she was doing. I hope she feels better. Like, just asking her if she needed anything. But that Friday, I did ask her for my money, and that should have been a red sign right there, because I'm the type of person, if I borrow money from you, you're not going to have to remind me, baby. It's going to aggravate me that I owe you money. Like, I don't want to owe nobody money but my man, which I could never owe him money. So, therefore, that being said, I don't want to owe anybody money, because it just bothers me too much. And if I do owe somebody money, I'm paying them back expeditiously. Like, I'm not waiting a day over. So the fact that I had to ask her, like, hey, did your mom ever give you the money? That should have been a red flag. But I didn't feel no pressure, because like I said, we had been talking all week. So Tasha hits me with the, no, I'm so aggravated. My mom has not yet given me the money, but when she does, I'm going to make sure I give you your money back for sure. And I get paid next Friday, so I can at least give you $500 back, and then I'll give you the other $500 out of my next paycheck. So y'all know it was no pressure, because like I said, I knew what she was going through. I had never had my heart broken like that before. I've had little heartbreaks where ninjas got me crying for a day or two, and then I'm a thug, so I'm back outside. But I ain't never really had one of those lingering heartbreaks where you just don't feel like yourself anymore. Like, I've never dealt with that. I can't relate, so I was trying to be empathetic as possible. So fast forward to that following Friday, I text her and I was just like, did you get paid? Because it was also dumbfounded for me to even lend her the money. Y'all know the saying, don't lend nobody something that you can't afford to let go of. And I did need my money. Like, I did need my moolah. So I text her that next Friday. I actually think I text her on Thursday, because I knew that she had that bank account that they got paid early, sometimes on Wednesday. And she hit me with the excuse, my paycheck got delayed. And I'm just like, out of all of these months and weeks and pay periods, why your paycheck get delayed? when I need my money back. I don't recall what I needed the money for at that time, y'all, but I know I was looking forward to at least the $500 because I didn't think she was not going to give me the money because, like I said, I knew Toxic Tony had put her through stuff during the years, so I believed everything. And mind you, all throughout the years with the baby on her, with him up and leaving her after 6 years, like I knew the whole story. I knew about everything, so I believed. I believed in her. Fast forward to the next week. I was like, did your mother give you your money back yet? She's like, no, she didn't pay me back yet. Me and her got in an argument, so I don't think she's going to give me the money. And we were on FaceTime when she said this, y'all. So I'm trying to hide. I'm trying to hide my anger because it's just like, what does that have to do with me? I didn't give you the money contingent on if your mother gave you the money. I gave you the money on if I gave you the money. So we kind of got that cleared up. And I'm just like, well, even if your mom don't give you the money back, you know you still owe me the 2K, right? Right? Like, trying to soften the blow. And she's like, yeah, I understand that. Things are better. I have been picking up more hours at work. I'm going to try to get you the $500. So after that, y'all, that conversation, like we didn't get in an argument or anything, but I was just like, all right, I'm not going to text her or reach out to her until she sends me at least the half of my money. Like until I see 1K from her, then I'm not talking to her at this time because I was kind of getting frustrated about the money. Hence, y'all, I needed the money. If I had a situation like this happen, I can't even speak. I'm getting mad all over again. If this happened now, I would not be that desperate for 2K back. So if this did happen, it would just be like, all right, block, charge it to the game. But hint, 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 I did need my money. So that's why I was still being patient with her. Fast forward, y'all, a whole month went by. It's the end of December. I'm supposed to have my full 2K by then. But no, y'all, the excuses, like Tasha turned into an Olympic level excuse maker, y'all. Every week it was something. First, it was her paycheck got delayed. I guess her paycheck never got back on track because she never texted me about my money. Fast forward to the end of December, I end up hitting her up and I'm like, mind you, I gave her the money in November. I hit her up and I'm like, it was a heartfelt message, y'all. I don't have the message, but I said something along the lines of, I'm a bit taken back and I'm a bit sad by the fact that you have not gave me my money yet. And she didn't respond back for that entire day, y'all. The following day, she calls me in the morning and she said, I'm going to wait on my taxes. I'm going to wait until my taxes come back. And literally all I get for taxes is like 4K because my cousin lets me claim one of her kids. And I will literally give you like all of my taxes. And I bust out laughing, y'all, because I thought it was a joke. I said, taxes? Tax season haven't even started, y'all. It was December. She's like, yeah, I know, but I'm filing first thing on January the 1st. Like, I'm filing my taxes, and that's when I'm going to make sure you the first one to pay back. Like, if my mom give me the money, if she has a change of heart, I'm going to give you the 1K back. But if not, I promise you the first one that's going to get something out of my taxes. So I'm like, I didn't really know what to say, y'all, because I didn't want to be rude and nasty. Because, like mother, like daughter. Her daughter, she got in an argument with her mother. Now her mother don't want to pay her back. So if I get in an argument with her, now she don't want to pay me back. Like, I don't want to become her. So I'm just like, all right, let me just give her the benefit of the doubt. And, like, what can I do? Like, what can I do at this point, y'all? Like, the excuses were excusing, but I was excusing the excuses because I felt like, all right, there is probably a 1% chance that I'm going to get my money back. Well, nah, the percentage has to be higher than that in my mind because after that, me and her resumed our relationship like nothing was wrong. I'm like, okay, I know people get their taxes at the end of January, sometimes February, sometimes even March, but that's like the latest. So that's when I'm going to get my money, and I know that's going to come because she goes to work. But y'all, fast forward to, I want to say it wasn't even a full week. It was like a few days later. After that, I was FaceTiming her. And when we were on FaceTime, she had got real quiet, but I realized later that she was putting the phone on mute. And she muted the phone. And I was just like, girl, Tasha, just call me back. Why you keep muting me? Stop muting me. And she was like, "You right. I'm gonna call you back." And it was like a quick conversation, y'all. We get off the phone. Fast forward to like 2 minutes later, she's calling me back on FaceTime. And I answered the FaceTime, but like no one is there. Like no one's, I can hear people in the background talking, but she's not on the actual phone. So that's when I hear Toxic Tony in the background. So I'm like, what? Toxic Tony? I must be hearing stuff because I know this is not the same man that left you and that didn't contribute to any of your bills and left you with almost getting an eviction on your credit. I know it's not that toxic, Tony. So I hang up and then I call back because she doesn't know that I know that somehow she accidentally called me. So I hang up and I ding her and she answered and she's like, Asia, I'm gonna call you back. I'm gonna call you back. And I'm like, who there? Who over there? And she's like, what you mean who over there? I'm like, who's at your place? She's like, nobody. And she has like this little mischievous look on her face. Like she's looking at Toxic Tony. Like he's directly in front of her, but she's lying and saying that nobody is there. And I'm saying, oh, I could have sworn I heard Toxic Tony in the background. And here he go, hey, Asia. What? Y'all, I could have split that phone in two. I could have, I was so mad. So she's just like, I'm gonna have to call you back. He's getting ready to go. I'm gonna call you right back. So y'all already know I'm writing a novel. My fingers are going to work soon as the phone click. But before I could even send the message, y'all, because I'm not gonna hold you, that message was extensive. It was a really long paragraph that I was sending her, just going the hell off. She ends up calling me back and we're on the phone and it's like we're on FaceTime, but she's avoiding eye contact with me, y'all. And then I'm just like, Tasha, please tell me, like, are you okay? Is you cool? Like, are you cool, fool? Cause what? Like, ho, are you cool? Like, are you okay? And then she finally just admitted that she let Toxic Tony come back. He came back a few weeks ago with crocodile tears and all, asking for help. And she told him that she gave him my money. And y'all, I was not ready to hear that. So I was like, wait, what? Wait, what? I'm thinking I must have misheard her. You mean the money I gave you to keep a roof over your head? That's the money you gave him? And y'all not gonna believe what this girl said to me. She looked at me dead in my face and said, he needed it more than I did. Y'all, I could have threw up. I probably did vomit in my mouth that day because I couldn't fathom this level of stupidity. Like, I could not believe it, y'all. And I'm just like, what? Like, I just start reciting everything she told me. I'm just like, this is the same person that made you go to the clinic, girl. He sent you to the clinic. Yo, P, you summer. I'm joking, y'all. I ain't say that, but I'm basically saying, like, this is the same person that betrayed you time and time again, and you let him back. And it's kind of crazy, y'all, because I can kind of tell that she was like moving on with her life because she would post on social media more like they was going out to eat. I'm not saying you can't eat out just because you owe somebody money, but I don't know, like the type of stories and the things that she would post, she would be in the mall and stuff. Not saying she wasn't window shopping, but I can kind of just tell that some good, which was Tony to her, had came back in her life. So after that, I'm like, I need my money. You need to ask him for my money back. And she's like, Asia, you know how toxic Tony is. He don't have it. He's not responsible with money. So I'm like, what, did you pay your rent? She's like, yeah, I paid my rent. I'm not getting evicted. I just saved up my paychecks and I have other bills that are delinquent, but I'm in good standing. Like, I appreciate you and everything that you did for me. And she was very apologetic about it, but I told her, like, after I get my money back, like, I just need time to think about our friendship. And y'all know, like, she was good and blocked after that. Like, I talked to her very mature on the phone. But baby, I had a block party once we got off that phone call. And eventually I did have to let it go, y'all. Not because I wanted to, but because chasing that 2K was like costing me more stress than it was worth. Like, Tasha was still gonna be on and off again with Tony, and it just wasn't worth my stress. It was just wasn't worth it, y'all. I learned a very valuable and expensive lesson. Like, never trust a sad story. That does not mean a person is financially responsible just because they have a sad story. Like, just don't trust it, because she got back with him and we haven't talked in years. This happened years ago, y'all. So I don't know if Toxic Tony is still around, but I would not be surprised, because if someone comes to you with a sob story like that and they still give the same person that put them in that predicament the money, then they're not stable. Like, it's remedial. Like, it's a mental illness at this point. So yeah, learn from me. You're not a bank. Tell them to go to Chase. Go to BOA when they need some money. You're not a therapist. Tell them to hire one. And you definitely not a sponsor for anybody's bad decisions. So yeah, I hope y'all learned something from this story time, and don't judge me too much. What's that challenge? Don't judge me. We don't judge challenge. Yeah, this is my don't judge challenge, because this was so, I don't know, y'all. She really, yeah, this is definitely my we don't judge, we listen. Because baby, I would never do that again. But hey, you live, you learn. Comment down below if y'all ever fell for a sob story. It doesn't matter if it's a friend, a boyfriend, a cousin, a stranger, whatever the story was. If you ever got scammed out of your moolah over a sob story, comment it down below. And remember, we don't listen. Oh, we listen. We don't judge. Yeah, that's what it is. All right. Love y'all. And make sure y'all post notifications is on, okay? Oh, and one more thing. I'm doing a giveaway, and if you want to be entered into the giveaway, check out my community tab to see what you have to do to enter.